Salvation. Their 2023 campaign in early November. Their goal this year for West Berrien and Van Buren counties is to raise $151,400. Among the volunteer groups ringing the bells this season is the Rotary Club of St. Joseph, Benton Harbor. Rotarian Sean Ebert from Pearson Construction says he's been in Rotary for 21 years and he's helped with the campaign for that entire time.
The people that gave the most money were probably the people you would expect to give the least. But what a heartwarming, great holiday experience to have. It's just really cool to see the people come out and give.
Ebert's advice for people who see bell ringers: don't turn around and walk the other way.
There is no pressure. If you're not interested in giving, there's no hard feelings. But anything you can give will help. There's a lot of people in our community in need. It's a great organization that helps those folks. And if you can spare a few bucks, I encourage you to do so.
The Salvation Army helps with a number of services for people and families in need, including emergency financial assistance, emergency shelter, seasonal services, Christian education, music and arts programs, daycare, and community recreation and education programs. The bell ringing happens throughout the holiday season, and you can look for the Rotary, St. Joe Benton Harbor Rotary, outside Kilwins this Saturday. They'll be ringing in downtown St. Joe during the Rain Dog Parade.
Ooh.
During the Rain Dog Parade, that happens on State Street in St. Joseph from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday.
All right.
Yeah, and finally, home prices in Southwest Michigan hit record highs in October. The Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors says sales in October continued to decline, making it the 10th consecutive month when sales fell behind the same month of the previous year. Perhaps a factor in the declining sales were the inflated prices. The association says the average selling price in October of 2023 increased 1% to $392,000. The median selling price in October, $274,000. That's up 6% from the previous year. And sales were down 7% from the same month a year prior. The Realtors Association adds that low inventory is probably one of the driving factors for both the declining sales and the high prices. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll get to sports here in just a few minutes. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
Japan's Coast Guard searching the ocean for a downed U.S. aircraft. ABC's Anthony Trotter is in Tokyo.
A U.S. military CV-22 Osprey aircraft has crashed into the ocean off southwestern Japan. The incident occurred at approximately 2:47 p.m. local time near the island of Yushima, about a mile from the airport. Eyewitness reports indicate that the aircraft's left engine was on fire as it descended. Anthony Trotter, ABC News, Tokyo.
Mediators are working rapidly to try to extend the Israel-Hamas ceasefire in hopes that more of the hostages will be freed in return for the release of Palestinians detained in Israel. The truce was supposed to expire today. Rosalind Carter receives final farewells today in the tiny town she called home most of her life. Her private funeral and burial will take place in Plains, Georgia. First, Mark Cuban announced that he's leaving Shark Tank. Now he says he's working on a deal to sell the Dallas Mavericks, the team valued at $3.5 billion. No reason given for the moves. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
Men's college basketball last night in a game you heard on Super Hits 103.7 Cozy FM. Michigan State beat Georgia Southern 86-55. Jaden Akins led the Spartans with 14 points. South Carolina over Notre Dame 65-53. Tonight, Central Michigan is at Ohio State at 7 o'clock. Last night in the NHL was the Blackhawks over the Seattle Kraken 4-3. Tonight, the Red Wings are at the Rangers at 7:30. In the NBA was the Boston Celtics over Chicago 124-97. Tonight, the Lakers are at the Pistons at 7 o'clock. In women's college basketball tonight, number 15 Notre Dame is on the road at number 20 Tennessee at 5 o'clock. It's SIU Edwardsville at Michigan at 7 o'clock, and Valparaiso at Western Michigan also at 7. Junior college basketball tonight. In women's basketball, Henry Ford College is at Southwestern Michigan College at 5:30, and men's basketball, Battleground Prep is at Southwest Michigan at 7:30. With sports, I'm Dave Wolf.
When Cornerstone Alliance talks about bringing new business to Southwest Michigan, it includes creating an inviting environment. That includes superior healthcare systems. That's why Cornerstone works hand in hand with Corewell Health South.
We spent a lot of time, of course, upgrading all of our facilities.
Good morning to our friends that are hanging out on our Facebook and our YouTube.
Hello.
Bill says good morning as
Hey, Bill.
usual. Hey, Bill. There's a chilly start to the day, but we didn't have snow. There's a lot of snow yesterday.
Was it especially slick yesterday, or was it just that kind of, okay, this is really the first snow of the season?
I think a little bit of both.
Because we had the second snow of the season yesterday.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, for a lot of people, I don't know.
I think the snow fell and then it got really cold. So there was a lot of a lot of ice that started showing up.
Yeah.
Plus the plows were going and clearing the area a little bit, but it was still so cold that a lot of that stuff was still freezing. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. It was a little slick.
Did you get the winter coat out yet?
I thought about it today. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wear, I think I'm at that point where I can wear a sweater and then wear the jacket over the top and I'm okay. Cause I don't have a long distance to walk.
All right. Wait a second.
House to car.
My encouragement for you. Well, let me ask a question before I do that.
Okay.
Do you have a kit in your car in case you break down?
I don't have the breakdown kit. No.
I mean, so if you hit a snowbank and you have to be out there for a couple hours, you're good?
No, I'm just gone.
You
dead.
Okay, now I'm going to encourage you to put a blanket, get your winter coat out. You have a drive every day.
Yeah, it's like a half hour.
Yeah.
It's not long.
Yeah. So put a coat in there. Put an extra coat. Just throw an extra coat in the trunk in case you have to walk.
If you look into my car, there's a lot of things. Jocelyn can attest to that because,
Okay, number one, clean out the car. Number two, prioritize the stuff you got to put back in there.
It's the cleaning out the car thing that, I said, oh, no, it's just to keep me warm. I got a blanket in there. I got all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So
right,
I do not have the full on
kit
of the things that I need. I always have snacks in there though.
Yeah, that's good because the wacky weather, I mean, the storms are popping up all over the place. So you could get a snowstorm. You never know. We got lake effects now. You got wind. I don't know.
I appreciate that you worry about me.
I do. Well, I used to have to make that drive from Buchanan up to Whirlpool's headquarters, and I took 31.
Yeah.
And there's some areas of 31 where there's just nothing to stop the wind.
A lot of snow drifts. Yeah.
A lot of snow drifts, zero visibility. That was always, got the heart going.
All right, let's get back to the show here.
Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Man, oh man, we are everywhere. You can be a part of the show, not only listening to it, but also you can engage with us on our Facebook and our YouTube. You can also, if you want to pick up the phone and give us a call, 925-WSJM, you can catch us there. You can also email letstalk@WSJM.com. And we encourage you to engage with us and tell us about what's going on, either in your life, or you're noticing things, especially with the wintry weather that we have, tips for news, especially accidents and things like that. If you're seeing some of that stuff, or even just slick conditions on your drive, once you get to your destination, if you want to let us know, hey, a little slick on this road or that, that is always encouraged. Obviously, don't do it while you're driving.
No,
that's not encouraged.
Keep your phone out of your hands while you're driving. But we do appreciate the news tips, and in fact, we'll talk about during our Moody on the Market update. The Benton Harbor Staples is closing, and that came in through a news tip from somebody who gave us the information. We had to do our due diligence to make sure it wasn't an artificial intelligence bot. But that's how we brought that one forward.
Yeah. We were talking about this a little bit ago. And I will say, full clarity, I did not finish watching the ad.
Yeah.
But car commercials, you see them all the time.
Yeah.
This one I think is a pretty solid commercial for the holidays.
Yeah.
Chevrolet has a new commercial out, and I believe it's called A Holiday to Remember. And just from what I saw, I mean, the reason I wanted to talk about it is because Jocelyn was watching it last night right before bed, and she's like, "Oh, now I'm crying." I was like, "What's going on? What are you doing?"
Yeah,
and she's listening to all I hear is John Denver. The Sunshine on My Shoulder, that song. And I was like, what is going on? Are you okay? She watches, social media, scrolls just like everybody before bed. And she's like, damn you, Chevrolet. I was like, what did Chevrolet do?
So she's scrolling through social media.
Yeah. She sees an ad.
and she the ad caught her enough to where she watched it, because we tried to watch this.
It's a long
It's
video.
a very long video, but it's very touching.
We didn't have time to finish the whole thing because we're trying to put on this fine award-winning program. But I think
we're not trying, Johnny. We are doing
this ad. It goes with starts with a family getting together, and they're talking about their grandmother, and she's suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, so she's just having trouble remembering stuff. And anybody that knows anybody that's dealing with dementia,
with this,
you have those good days and bad days. And so the granddaughter says, "Hey, let's make it a good day." Goes to the barn, uncovers this, I gotta say, sweet ride.
Super sweet, pristine, vintage,
like 70s Suburban. And then they cruise around. Cruise around through town. So just a beautiful ad. So if you have a chance, I saw a few of my friends were sharing it yesterday. So it's a new one, but I think if you want to just Google it, A Holiday to Remember.
Now,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was heartwarming. It was touching. Obviously, with anyone who has a personal experience with that can connect. I only thought, here's what would have made that ad better.
What's that?
Is if they had put instead of the old Suburban, if it had been a brand new Corvette.
Ooh, yeah, but it's winter time.
Ripped off the car cover there, and they're driving through Florida.
I think
let's make it one to remember, Grandma.
I think they have done something like that, where they it was like a couple where they cruised around in their old Chevrolet. But yeah, it was like 1971 Chevy Suburban.
Okay, beautiful vehicle. It was pristine blue and white.
I Googled it, and one of the headlines was, "No, the heart-tugging Chevrolet ad was not filmed in Wyoming." So now we know it was filmed in one of the other states. We're not exactly sure.
Oh, okay.
But that came from the Cowboy State Daily.
Oh,
because I guess they're driving by. Now, would it be Wyoming, Michigan instead that they're driving through?
Why are you saying Wyoming? I missed that part.
Because I guess there's a part in a little clip in the video, maybe that goes by a building that says Wyoming.
Oh, yeah, it's probably Wyoming, Michigan.
Could be.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
Again, still, I think it would have been better with a brand new Corvette.
Oh, I found it in reading through this article real quick.
What's it say?
Part of the commercial was shot in Holly, Michigan.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. If you have a chance to check it out, just search A Holiday to Remember there for Chevrolet.
Okay.
And Chevrolet not paying us for this ad.
It's not an ad.
But if they want to, I would love a 1971 Chevy Suburban.
That'd be so cool. Or a new Corvette.
My dad used to have a Chevy Blazer.
Why are you avoiding the Corvette?
I mean, the Corvette's okay.
You don't like the new one?
The newest one?
Yeah, the newest ones, they have that European look. They're very angular. They're like very aggressive in their stance.
My favorite of the Corvettes would be would be like the Chevy the Stingray with the big ones from the 70s, the big humps in the front. But then also like the 60s ones.
Yeah.
Those
the older ones, sweet, classic. The 70s ones,
I like the 70s ones.
Western for me.
The pre-Barbie ones, the Barbie Chevrolet, the Barbie Corvette.
Those are silly.
I didn't like it all that much.
Yeah.
But I did like the 70s, like Stingray. I saw one actually the other day, and I was like, that's a sweet ride.
Yeah, those should be undercover right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Not the time of year to drive it.
Right. That's why you wouldn't have a Christmas ad with the Chevy.
Yeah, but you'd
Chevy
be in
Corvette.
Miami.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey,
I changed the set. Sorry.
Let's check out the man.
Change the car, change the set.
You should go ahead and contact Chevrolet and tell them how you feel about
I'll get in touch with them.
Their ad campaign. Here's the thing. I got a bone to pick with you guys.
If we did it this way, we might get some more. Do you think that's going to show up in their Super Bowl? I bet a Redux will show up in the Super Bowl.
I'm sure that whole ad probably will show up. Wow. Well, no, because it's Christmas. It's a holiday ad.
Got it.
I'm sure you'll see a lot of it in the holiday side of things, but not as much in there. So what do we got here on our
we got a couple
Bill says I want a Barbie Ferrari. Is there a Barbie Ferrari?
I don't know. I want any Ferrari. Yeah.
Another tip for you from Bill. Tell people to turn on their headlights. I hope people have their headlights on. It's dark outside.
Yeah.
Other things to get to this morning. What else we got here? Let's talk about the. Well, what do you got? What do you
want
got?
to talk about George Santos?
Yes,
The
let's talk
ongoing
about his thing.
So as we talked about, I think it was fewer than 10 days ago, the House Ethics Committee report came out,
right,
and said that Republican George Santos in the House of Representatives, he's from New York. He's been the guy who's basically been called everything under the sun, including a fraud. And now the Ethics Committee has their report saying he improperly used campaign funds to do everything from fine dining, Airbnbs, to Botox injections. So I think we predicted at the time he would be out within the next couple of weeks, and it looks like the vote to expel him from Congress will probably happen tomorrow. A privileged resolution, at least one, probably a couple have been filed. And when a member files a privileged resolution, it's got to be dealt with before any other business. It's got to be dealt with within a couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah. So it gets immediately jumps to near the head of the line, and they've got to deal with it. And Congressman Santos, still congressman at this point, still remaining defiant yesterday ahead of that expulsion vote that's going to happen on the House floor, saying he doesn't care about the procedural moves. He doesn't care about the specter of being ousted. He doesn't care that everyone's asking him to resign. He said he's not going to resign, and he's gonna serve out his time.
Well, and you know why he doesn't care?
Why?
Because he knows that on the other side of this, there is exclusive interview money. There's a book deal.
Oh, dear. No one's going to buy that book.
There's people will.
How I Did It, kind of like a Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
could be.
I'm just waiting for Scooby-Doo and his gang to come by. And then right at the end, George Santos is like, well, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those darn kids and that dog. We were talking about this last hour about Sports Illustrated and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Ever since that guy showed up on the scene, I thought, this dude's fake.
Yeah.
This is not a real person. This cannot be real. This is like undercover boss type stuff.
Yeah.
Where the guy looked like he's wearing a disguise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This whole thing is just, it gets weirder and weirder as it goes along. And I don't think it's over yet with being weird.
You're probably right. But I mean, the Congress people who have tried to oust him twice already have failed. They think they're going to win this time because they do have that ethics committee report. But there's still some members of Congress who say it's going to be hard to vote to oust the congressman before any kind of fair trial or due process has happened. But it does seem like at least 2/3 of the House will vote to expel Congressman Santos, and you do require 2/3 of the House in order to do that. And one of the congressmen who's pushing the effort, Representative Dan Goldman, said the time's finally come to remove him from Congress. If we're going to restore faith in government, we must start by restoring integrity in the U.S. House of Representatives. That's a big promise. I don't know if they're going to restore faith in government overnight just by getting rid of this guy, but that's a start.
I mean, the scariest thing of the whole thing is that people voted for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he made it from whatever he was doing to campaigning, winning. I mean, then what? So what happened? So he's out. Then they have a special election to fill that seat in the state of New York.
They'll have to set a special
in his district.
I think they'll set. Yeah, I think they have to set either a special or wait for the next one. It might just be a vacant seat until November because it's 24. But
that's probably another reason why, if it becomes a vacant seat, why it's going to be harder for him to be expelled, because of the fact that it's such a tight Congress right now.
Yeah. But he does have 23 federal charges waiting for him on the other side of anything. He has pleaded not guilty to the 23 federal charges, and he called the ethics report that came out a politicized smear. But he says he won't run for re-election in 24.
Sounds like a vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh man, the drama continues. I feel like Hollywood should just move from Hollywood to DC. because that's where all the drama keeps happening.
Well, they're taking the show on the road. I mean, the debate commission, the Commission on Presidential Debates, has announced sites and dates for the 2024 general election debates. So these are the 3 presidential debates and the 1 vice presidential debate. They've set the dates for that, but so far they don't have anyone confirmed to come.
Right.
Yeah, both the Republican National Committee and the Democrat National Committee have said, maybe not. Especially the Republicans got mad last time and said, we are forbidding any of our candidates, any of our nominees from attending these debates because we don't like the way you ran the last ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting because we know that Trump didn't show up to any of the Republican ones.
The nominee debates.
Yeah, the nominee debates.
These are the ones. These are the ones that
you think he'll show up to the presidential ones if he becomes the candidate.
I don't know because
he had to sign the whole thing, the waiver
I don't know.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know that he's committed to anything to the Republican National Committee, but the Republicans called for reforms to the commission last time around in the wake of the 2020 presidential debates, because they said that the moderators were biased. They said it didn't give the presidential candidate, in their case Trump, enough time to really present his case for people, and it's all set up to fail for the Republican candidate. That's what the Republicans said, and that's why they're telling their nominees, if you're the nominee eventually, you can't be part of this debate system. Now the Democrats, they don't have as big a problem with it, but they have not yet agreed to the debates either. And part of that, I might imagine, is because if you remember the debates last time when it was Trump and Biden, those were not pretty.
No,
those did not seem like a model for American democracy. But,
I think they just settled their debates like they did back in the day. Just fist fights.
No, they didn't do that.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's Andrew Jackson. That's how he handled things back in the day.
He was also impeached, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a good precedent to set for a president.
But they are talking about, well, what if we did non-journalists to moderate the debate, and instead of creating monologues prior to asking questions, we just put out a topic, and then you, as the presidential candidates, get to go back and forth.
So you're saying moderate it by artificial intelligence?
Exactly. Just put a topic
just
out
a
there.
Robot?
Hey, robot, what should we talk about? Yeah.
Ooh.
No, but they were thinking, could we put out just one word, like put out Gaza or Israel or abortion or term limits, that kind of thing, and let the candidates just say, okay, well, here's what I think about the issue, and here's where I think it should go.
Somebody just texted me, said, and add a mute button. Add a mute button to the whole thing.
Who would get the control of the mute button?
The mute button, that was another thing with the debates when it was like your time ran out.
You keep talking.
The people just kept talking.
Yeah.
And that's where the chaos and all that, the time limits really didn't matter.
You give them enough rope. You give them the rope and they just keep going.
Yeah.
Just because that is a demonstration of your character as well.
I want it to be like American Idol and The Voice, where it's like you see the voting results. Maybe you're voting on the questions. Maybe America's voting on the questions. Like they'll have here's the top 5 questions we're going to ask. Here's what the next one will be.
Remember the meters that you could have your audience say, I like this. Okay, I'm not liking this. You can watch it go in real time.
Yeah.
Maybe we do something like that.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to get people watching it.
Sure.
So why not make it more interesting?
How does the NFL do it now? Do they have little animation? Remember they did Toy Story?
They did Toy Story. They have
you could have that going on in the background. Like
they
Mystery
could do
Science Theater 3000.
Presidential debate available on Nickelodeon.
Oh my gosh.
And at one point, one of the candidates get slimed.
They get slimed. They get splatted. That'd be good.
I love that.
Yeah. That would get America to watch.
See, you were making all the suggestions about what Chevy should be doing for the commercials. I think where we better suited is going after the people that are handling all the debates for stuff, presidential, governor, all these different things, and we'll handle it and make it more interesting.
I think we need to continue this on the live stream because I've got some more.
All right. More things to add there, but we've got other things to get to as well. We'll catch you up with news, sports, and your Bloomberg Market Minute next.
At Sturgis Bank, it's our people that make the difference.
All right, what are your extra suggestions?
No, what you mentioned the Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah.
And I think instead of just the debates, because honestly, when they ask those questions, you get the canned answer. You don't really get good fodder. I mean, everyone's already got their minds made up when they're going into the debates. Why not have you can have one debate, one presidential get together is obstacle course. Who's going to do better on American Ninja?
Like survive. Ooh,
right?
Go through all the channels.
And that takes care of your question about the term limits or
There
the
you go.
age or the age
there
requirement.
you go. Physically fit.
Are you physically fit? If you're, are you Harrison Ford out there? Can you take down, the terrorists if they get you on Air Force One?
Oh,
Right?
I like that.
Yeah.
So you got that. You got like a minute to win it kind of thing where they got to like do all kinds of different things.
This is just silly. Just silly. But you could do challenges and stuff like that.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to think on their as president, they have to think on their feet.
Because you're presented constantly with a stream of information. You got to make the decisions. You got to be the leader. Because eventually, at the end of the day, what do people want in their president?
Somebody that can lead.
Yeah. Somebody that's going to take a decisive action and do the right thing.
Right. So that'll be
American
interesting.
Ninja. Right
American Ninja Warrior
President style. Yeah. President edition.
So you're talking Harrison Ford, Air Force One.
Yeah.
Get off my plane kind of Harrison Ford.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Bangor, the Bangor lady basketball team says they want Johnny.
Oh, there you go. Who was the Bangor Lady Vikings basketball team? Is that Brett?
I can't say.
Oh,
I can't tell you. I don't. It's the whole basketball team. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
The whole basketball
That's
team
probably
chiming
Brett. Is Brett doing something on the back end there?
No,
okay.
definitely not. No, they voted the Bangor Lady Viking basketball team.
There you go.
Which has that team started? Bangor Lady basketball team. Have you guys started your games yet? I know yesterday was I think it was yesterday was a rivalry game.
Oh.
Niles versus Brandywine.
Ooh, how'd they do?
I don't know. I'll have to check the scores with Dave Wolf. But we have basketball actually happening Friday right here on 94.9 WSJM. We'll have the WSJM game of the week, which I have on this piece of paper.
Oh, look at that. I got the score, by the way. I have the score.
You do have the score of the Niles and Brandywine
You want to
game?
know?
Yeah, what is it?
Brandywine boys won 56-43.
Nice.
Yep.
When it comes to Friday night's game, we will have Berrien Springs at Benton Harbor. So that should be a good game.
Oh.
Should be a good game.
Who's calling it?
Joel Cordes.
Very nice.
Yep. And we'll have you might have heard Joel last season for basketball as well as during football. He was our football guy.
Very good.
Bill says maybe the presidential candidates could just do a foot race.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But if it's Biden and Trump, they both have had issues with falling over.
They would have to run from the White House to the Capitol, around the Lincoln Memorial, and back to the White House. That's a good run.
That is a good run.
Yeah.
Do you know the distance roughly?
I want to say it was 3 miles. 3 miles one way or two ways. I used to run it in the morning.
Oh wow.
It was really nice.
So that's like that's 5K right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's flat. Do it in the early morning, early enough so you don't run into the tourists, because once the tourists arrive, it's very hard to run around them. You have to
that's
run
true.
Like twice the distance.
You should have done full triathlon. Run it and then swim across the reflecting pool.
It's not deep enough.
And
it's
no.
gross.
It's deep enough.
Okay, it's deep enough.
Deep enough for a light swim.
You could backstroke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go jump on a bike and finish it out.
I like it.
Or bike. What is it? Triathlons are swim, bike, run.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
you can figure it out.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to the show here.
All right.
Serving Berrien Branch, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, and Van Buren counties. Now with 2 new locations in St. Joseph, downtown, and on Cleveland Avenue. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Flight attendants and American Airlines must keep negotiating toward a new contract. That ruling comes from federal mediators who rejected a union request to end talks, which could have potentially paved the way for a strike. Under federal law, there are several obstacles that make it very hard for airline workers to strike. Apple is said to be offering Goldman Sachs a way out of their credit card partnership. A source tells Bloomberg News that Apple recently took a first step towards severing the contract, but the iPhone maker remains committed to its Apple credit card and savings account. Goldman Sachs has been pulling back from a move into consumer lending after it proved to be more expensive than expected. Stocks edged higher yesterday on speculation the Fed is done with interest rate hikes and will be able to cut rates next year. Stock futures are rising this morning. Today we're watching for an updated look at how the economy performed during the third quarter. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Hi, this is John Prose. You're listening to The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on 94.9 WSJM.
Just past 7:30, and today is going to be a nice day. It's going to be sunny and a high of, we're going to get up to 40, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Still a little windy, though. Wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, clouds rolling in and down to 28. There's possible chance for some snowing on Thursday. Some rain and snow mix, they say. So,
okay.
I'm looking for it to warm up just a little bit. I'm not quite ready for this cold.
The
These
bitter
cold.
cold.
Yeah, the bitter cold. We're already getting into the bitter cold where it says like, oh, it's 20, but feels like 2. I'm not all about that yet. But we got a lot to get to here on the show. We've been having good conversations on our live stream as well. So if you want to join us over there, you still can on our YouTube and on our Facebook page. But first, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Good morning. Here are some of the stories we're following for you today. The Buchanan City Commission is holding their special meeting tonight to consider the employment status of their city manager, Ben Eldridge. He's been on paid suspension since early November after it was revealed on Monday that 42 workplace complaints were filed against the city manager. Commissioner Dan Vigansky tried to end the ongoing saga by moving to reinstate Eldridge then and there, but that move failed. He said he wants to still hear from the manager. He will have his opportunity to present that at tonight's meeting. There will also be a period for public comment. This all comes just a few days before a hearing at the Berrien County Courthouse that happens next week on whether a petition to hold a recall vote on the mayor of Buchanan will move forward. Benton Township is hiring a private security firm to help patrol heavily trafficked areas for the holiday. Township Supervisor Kathy Yates tells us the Board of Trustees has opted to hire Lang Investigations to patrol key parking lots and shopping areas of Benton Township. Yates says the Benton Township Police Department is short on officers, so Lang's assistance will help reduce the burden. And set for this Saturday is Christmas in the Village in Stevensville. Taylor Sebrex is one of the event's organizers and tells us the fun takes place downtown from 3 to 6 p.m. on Saturday. There'll be a variety of activities for the whole family, especially for the children. Sebrex says downtown businesses will host all kinds of activities: face painting, Johnny's favorite, the donut decorating, and then there will also be a scavenger hunt. Those are always fun.
Nice.
Those are always fun. There may even be some rain dogs running around, and the public is invited to attend. It's a free event. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
I'll just go for the donuts.
Right? It's going to be fun.
Catch up with sports here in just a few minutes. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the state with the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. General Motors is letting us know how much the strike cost the company: $1.1 billion in lost production. GM now estimates it'll make $9.1 to $9.7 billion for the entire year, about $1 billion less than they expected going into the strike. Top executives at the UAW and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan step in to reach a tentative contract agreement. The deal was reached following several phone calls between UAW President Shawn Fain and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan President and CEO Daniel Loeb. Workers, however, will remain on strike until the contract is ratified. The union says the agreement contains historic wins, including significant general wage increases and ratification bonuses. Novi native Paul Whelan, detained in Russia since 2018, has been attacked in prison. He was punched in the face and his glasses broken. Other prisoners stopped the attack from escalating. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Data.
All right. Everybody is hanging out on our Facebook page and our YouTubes. We appreciate you hanging out for a little while.
Absolutely.
What
you got?
Just looking at some stuff that I had yesterday in here. There's a restaurant over in Chicago, an Italian restaurant, celebrating the holidays with a dessert inspired by Will Ferrell's movie Elf.
Oh,
so of course, one of the Italian dishes that he enjoyed while he was in that movie was the spaghetti
with syrup,
with
right?
syrup,
Oh.
vanilla ice cream. I think there was marshmallows on there. I think there was chocolate syrup on there. So yeah, you can go pick that up. It's available for $16.
$16?
You can just make it at home.
So wait a sec, spaghetti?
There was I'm trying to remember all of them. It's spaghetti. I think there was some M&Ms on there. I think there was crushed up Pop-Tarts.
Oh, man.
Maple syrup. There was I think there was even chocolate syrup, whipped cream, just a bunch of gross stuff. And it was actual food. All of that was actual food, and Will Ferrell actually did eat it.
Oh.
On the movie.
Oh. Is that a classic? Is that movie Elf? Would you call it a classic?
I call it a classic. Yeah. It's 20 years now, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary.
So I would say I'd put it in classic. I don't know. I would say classic wouldn't start until 25 years.
Yeah.
So I would say it's on the cusp of being that.
So, because I heard on the news somebody say it's celebrating 20 years. It's a true classic. And I don't know if I would put it in classic status yet.
Right.
25 seems like a good bar because for books, it's 100 years.
Right.
And that makes sense.
I'd say to really call it, because same thing with music.
Yeah.
Like when I call like classic rock.
Right.
From when I was
Britney
always
Spears.
growing up. Yeah. Well, it bummed me out when I was hearing, when I was listening to a classic station and I was hearing music from like Bon Jovi and Van Halen and things
Van Halen
like
is
that.
classic.
Van Halen, certain Van Halens. I mean, when you get into the 80s.
Wait a second. Are you saying you don't like Sammy Hagar?
No, I love Sammy Hagar.
Okay.
But I'm saying like, it's not that old. Like 80s and even early 90s, like, from the 1984 all the way up.
No.
I'd say even 84, 85, I still wouldn't consider classic it's not.
Just got to go ahead and jump.
Exactly. But I mean, back when I was a kid, when it was like 1990, like say 95, when Twister came out, and they had the
Twister.
Yeah, the movie Twister. I think no, it was 90. Twister was 96.
Oh,
I don't know. I have a thing.
Twister. That was the tornado with no sharks.
Right, non-Sharknado,
and then Sharknado came out.
Right. Twister still holds up.
Yeah,
in my opinion, as a good special effects, good movie.
Okay.
I mean, of course they could have nowadays, because they're talking about making another Twister movie.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course I think they go too crazy with the special effects now if they do it. But I think that movie still holds up as a really solid movie.
We watched the other weekend The Impossible from 2012. Have you seen that?
No. Who's in that one?
This is let's see. Let's look at the cast. I don't know who's in that. I mean, there are people in it, but I'm not good with names. But The Impossible, let's see, stars Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, and Tom Holland.
Okay.
Excuse me. And this is based on a true story of the tsunami in Thailand.
Oh.
That happened in 2004. And so it follows a tourist family in Thailand who's caught in the destruction and the chaotic aftermath of that Indian Ocean tsunami.
Oh my!
It is I had never seen this. My son actually put it on and then left the room, and it was just I was filled with anxiety the entire time. It's a really, really good movie, and it's graphic as all get out.
What's up with that? Like putting the movie on and then walking away?
Well, because in the opening scenes, there's some. I mean, as you might imagine,
Mhm.
they try to convey the sense of what happens in a tsunami, especially if you're a person caught in it, and the injuries you receive not only from the water but the debris that's swirling around and
Oh,
crushing you.
yeah.
And so some of that started to happen, and Sawyer was like, "Yeah, I'm out." Downstairs, and I was enthralled by the movies, and so we Stephanie and I just kept watching it, and we watched the whole darn thing, and then we chastised Sawyer afterwards.
Speaking of being enthralled by movies,
Yeah.
Jocelyn was making fun of me yesterday because I am a bit of a sucker for Hallmark movies, the Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh my
I've
God.
watched just this holiday season. I've watched like 4 of them,
Oh my God,
and
4?
all of them they're all the same.
They are.
I
They are
mean,
the same.
even if you look at the pictures of everything
Yeah.
and the posters that they have, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's not only it's the same.
What? You're a
kind of thing.
high-powered marketing executive from New York, and you're trying to slow down in the small town?
Well,
You need to take care of your parents' farm?
I think I could write a Hallmark movie in like a day.
It would take you that long?
Yeah, I think. Well, to get the script completely written.
Okay.
you know.
Okay. All right.
But I watched a couple of them the other day. I was like, there was one. I think it was the Christmas Caterer. And then there was one yesterday
Yeah.
that I watched that it was 2 small towns that had split, and it was East Riverton and West Riverton.
That's a Family Guy episode, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, I'm sitting down and I said, as soon as the movie started, I was like, I think I know what's going to happen. Is they're going to fall in love, and then they're going to decide to make this East and West town, because it was one of those where like a rivalry between towns, like they would draw a line in the courthouse square and say this is East and West. And I was like, you know what they're going to do? They're going to make up, and then they're just going to make the town one name. It's just going to be Riverton. And of course, that's exactly what happened.
What happened to the mayors?
They fell in love, of course. But they
Aw.
couldn't decide who would be the mayor of the new town because
See,
they were rival mayors.
That's why you need more Quentin Tarantino in the Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
To find out where the standoffs is going to happen.
Start with the ending and then go backwards. But anyways,
Hallmark, they're fun.
I enjoy them.
They're fun.
They're wholesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, the simple plot and all that is okay because one, they need to pump out all of these movies for people, but it's just got that wholesome, warm holiday vibe, happy ending type stuff.
Yeah.
And well, they're doing something right because people still watch them.
Yeah.
They made like 30 some movies or something like that, like every year.
Mm.
So anyways, the one I watched, I can't even remember the title, honestly.
A heartwarming Christmas.
Probably.
A place in your heart for Christmas.
Christmas.
A heartfelt Christmas.
Christmas in the town Christmas.
A Christmas of hearts.
Oh, and there's always like the actors, the guys always have like the same haircut.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all good looking, of course. But then there's always like the same. There's like 2 or 3 actresses.
Yeah.
That play in all the movies.
I wonder if that's the next thing to turn to AI. They're just going to AI the Hallmark movies.
I think they'll AI the scripts
and the actors.
I don't know about the actors.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine you get paid a ton of money to be in those movies. That's why they do so many of them.
Oh.
Because they probably shoot in just a short amount of time.
Mm.
And then they probably don't pay a whole lot of money so that they can just pump out the movies.
Yeah, we watched another movie I think it was the Blood and Honey movie with Winnie the Pooh. It was horrible.
The Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Yeah, it was
Nice.
horrible. It was horrible. I'm pretty sure, I think we looked it up afterwards. It was shot in maybe 3 days.
Oh, okay.
One of those. It was bad.
Nice.
It was really bad.
I was just listening to an interview with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And he's in a Leonard Bernstein biopic called Maestro.
Yeah.
And he said it took him they filmed it for 55 days.
Wow.
That's a long run.
That's like 2 months.
Yeah. It's a long time to be filming a probably 2-3 hour movie.
Did he have to do anything special like lose or gain weight or study up on the classics or anything?
Well, he said he spent 6 years learning how to conduct a 6-minute long piece. And then also he was getting flack for he had a prosthetic nose.
Oh.
For Leonard Bernstein.
That's right. I remember that controversy.
Yeah. So, anyways. Good morning to Teresa.
Hey, Teresa. So we got Teresa. Diane was there. Bill. Brett Witkowski.
No, the Bangor Vikings
Caught
basketball
you.
team. It was not Brett Witkowski. I don't know who it was. I doubt he's the only person that has access to that Facebook page.
Oh, goodness.
All right, let's get back to the show.
28. And then for tomorrow, still some sunshine, a mix of the sun and clouds, and a high of 46. We'll see another chance of rain and snow by Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com. You can also find us on our live stream right now on our Facebook and our YouTube. And we were just talking about a lot of really fun, exclusive content, including Hallmark movies.
That's right. We did a lot of stuff on the Hallmark movies. How they're great. They're fun.
Exactly. I think they're great movies.
They're all the same.
I've watched quite a few of them.
You've watched one. You've watched them all.
I'm a sucker for those movies. They're great. But speaking of sending us an email, you might want to check your email because Google might be getting rid of them.
Oh, they are. Yeah, absolutely. If you have a Google account that you haven't logged into for the last 2 years, December 1, this Friday, is the day that Google says they will start deleting accounts. This Friday, Google will begin deleting accounts that have been inactive for at least 2 years. The company says it's doing this for privacy reasons and probably to free up space on its servers.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you haven't logged into something for 2 years, you probably don't need it. I mean, unless you have tax returns and stuff.
Well, and that's the thing you got to think about too, is if you, because I know I've got not only Gmail, but I've also got I still have a Hotmail.
Yeah. I keep my Hotmail active.
I've got the Hotmail, but I don't actually go and check that Hotmail, but it is used for certain logins.
Oh, right.
For things.
For authentication and verification and stuff.
That's where people also need to be mindful of. It's like, oh yeah, I don't need to worry about that. I've got this email. I've got that email. You got to check that stuff because you might have it connected to this, that, or the other.
And ironically, this is one of the reasons that Google says they're deleting this. They say it's because forgotten or unattended accounts often rely on old or reused passwords. So maybe when the internet was just being born or you were just getting started with it, you did password for your password, which
password
was silly.
1 2 3 4.
Password 1 2 3 4. Now we just divulged everyone's
with
password.
A capital P.
Yeah, and whatever. So they say those passwords are often the most compromised. They haven't had the two-factor authentication set up. They receive fewer security checks by the user. So they say those accounts are at least 10 times less likely than active accounts to have two-step verification, which probably makes them 100 times more vulnerable to attack.
Right.
So they're going to get rid of it, protect your security, protect their stuff.
Can they get rid of all the spam emails that I get in
those
my
will
Gmail?
They will delete your entire account and they will forward the spam emails to you.
Because I do all kinds of, I try to filter through a lot of different stuff, keywords and things like that to do that, but my inbox just gets inundated with just spam ads all the time. And I don't know how to get rid of that. I want them to clear out that stuff.
Now, if you want to keep your Google account that you haven't used for a couple of years, all you have to do is log in, sign in to that account that you haven't signed into in at least 2 years. Read, send an email, use the Google Drive, open and watch a YouTube video, whatever. But you got to do something in there, not just log in, but you have to do something in there while you're in the account. That will keep it from being deleted.
In just one of those things of the Google world, or do I need to go through my Google Drive?
I would go to Google and check to make sure. But I think if you log in with your account and you do one thing, that's going to be good across that account.
Yeah, because if you use Google Chrome for your browser, usually all of that stuff is interconnected and linked to one account.
But if you have a different one set up for like a student account or something like that. Google is not the only one that does this. Microsoft has been doing this since 2019 for Outlook and old Hotmail accounts that have been inactive for 2 years. So anyway, just a reminder.
Yeah. To get my Ask Jeeves email. Got to check that one too.
Prodigy, all that stuff.
Do you have that where I know some people that they'll set up an email for regular email.
Yeah.
And then they'll set up another email for all of the subscriptions that they're signed up for.
Oh.
It's actually sounds pretty smart. Or like subscriptions and some of the ads and some of the logins for that stuff, so that you can kind of filter both. Still in your regular email, I know you're gonna end up getting a bunch of ads and spam.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is
I can't keep track of all the emails.
Well, all I know is the workplace here.
Mhm.
I get very few spam, so I credit Terry, because
Yeah.
he's in charge of setting up those filters for getting our spam out of there. So it's nice. It's not as bad as it used to be in the olden days when you used to get all kinds of silly spam.
I keep getting these emails from this guy named Ken Lundberg, and it goes straight to the trash, and I can't figure out why he keeps sending me emails. Wait.
You're lost.
Wait a minute. All right. Well, yeah. Let that be a public service announcement to you. Check your
Google.
email, check
Yep.
your Google, do
Yep.
all that stuff. Here in just a few minutes, we'll catch you up with your Moody on the Market update. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Hashtag Radio Obsessed.
Hashtag Radio Obsessed is a bricks and mortar and online store devoted to selling one thing, retro radios. Our showroom in Benton Harbor has reopened, located inside the radio station studios on Napier Avenue. Here's Kathy, your main contact when you visit the showroom.
Hi, Kathy here. We have just replenished our inventory with our top-selling models, plus added some new ones to the mix. Are you venturing outdoors for work or play? Then check out the Lunchbox and Blue Box heavy-duty digital radios in stock, perfect for your garage, your backyard, or the beach. Or maybe you would like a premium acoustically tuned wooden cabinet retro radio. It looks sharp and it sounds like a full-on stereo system. It will wow you, and most models are Bluetooth. Don't forget, use promo code Kathy, my name, and you'll get 10% off your purchase.
Hashtag Radio Obsessed, located inside the radio studios on Napier Avenue, 2 doors down from Signature Toyota. Don't wait. Visit our showroom or shop our store online today.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
And good morning. When you're thinking about your future, think about Lake Michigan College. At Lake Michigan College, they believe in connecting you to your future. Whether you're a recent high school graduate, a working professional seeking to advance your career, or someone looking to explore new interests, Lake Michigan College has a wide range of programs and courses that you should explore because they're there to suit your needs. They understand that college affordability, it's a concern for many, especially in these times, and which is why they offer a wide range of scholarships, financial aid options, and flexible payment plans. Their goal is to make quality education accessible to all. All you have to do to connect to your future today is visit lakemichigancollege.edu. The bottom line is Lake Michigan College wants to connect you to your future opportunities. They partner with local industries and employers to ensure the programs you're interested in align with the needs of our community's workforce. Lake Michigan College can help you get the future you want. Visit lakemichigancollege.edu and find out how to connect to your future today.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, look no further. MoodyOnTheMarket.com. We got you covered with a ton of great stories from our team of contributors. And your update that we tell you about some of those great stories is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
This business update from Moody on the Market hit home for a lot of folks. Staples is closing in Benton Township. They're closing in January.
Oh, man.
Yeah. few years ago, there were 3 nationally branded office stores in Benton Township, all within a few blocks of each other. But by mid-January of this year, of 2024, there will be none. Staples is closing its Benton Harbor store that's located at 1485 Mall Drive. January 12th is the last day. They're going the way of Office Max and Office Depot, who closed their stores in recent years. The nearest Staples now, after this closure, will be in South Bend, and then one over in Goshen. No formal announcement has been made yet, but the closing was confirmed by a Staples corporate message on their social media accounts, as well as people who reached out to us and local employees who called Moody on the Market to alert us to the situation. One employee said the store leaders had made reference to a building lease ending, and they just weren't going to renew. But no indication of any immediate plans to put a new business in that location.
Yeah, and why would Staples leave in the face of what appeared to be such a strong last man standing market position? The answer, of course, likely found online. The same challenge faced by so many local retailers is almost every business category. Now, consumers find it really easier and more convenient and sometimes cheaper to have their products delivered from big box stores like Amazon and similar in the cloud suppliers. Staples.com, of course, offers that option as well. So hopes to keep many of its customers in the fold that way. I've been in Staples, walked in there for certain things, but what I've always noticed every time I've gone in there, I'm one of a few customers.
Yeah.
So there's just not a lot going on, not a lot of activity.
There. I don't know about you. I love cruising office stores. I mean, office supply stores. It's fun.
What do you cruise for?
Pens,
at the office store?
paper, clearance items, computer stuff.
The clearance items for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some there are certain stationery. Yeah.
Printers. I mean, my last time I bought a printer, I went to a brick and mortar.
There's still in some of these stores where I still, if I buy it online, I still sometimes will go and scope it out because there's so many things you want to feel.
Yeah.
You want to feel what it's like. You want to see the quality.
Yeah.
I
mean, the
more
best
and more
thing,
stores are going away.
Like last time, I think, we were in Chicago, went to Blix because you can, it's still one of those stores where they have the little paper on the shelf and you can get the pen out and start doodling. That's
really?
That's what I like to do. You can't do that online.
No.
Can't get the feel of a pen or piece of paper.
That's true.
When you're doing that. So sad situation. Staples in Benton Harbor is closing. We've got the full article up on moodyonthemarket.com.
Maybe you should start an office supply store. Start your own.
Can I borrow your pen?
I got a highlighter for you. You call it Lundberg's.
There you go.
All right. So there you go. When we don't know exactly when they're closing though.
January 12th.
January 12th. All right. Well, hopefully they'll have some clearance items.
Yeah, probably.
You can check out that story at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. I wonder what's going to go in that store now.
No indications yet of anything that would be going in there.
Lease is up. Let's take it. Take the show on the road.
Okay.
That'll be our whole entire studio.
Okay.
Love the idea.
I like it.
Check out that story, moodyonthemarket.com. It's brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service, your local auto owners and agency. You can call them IMS today. Catch you up with news, sports, and a whole lot more next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Here's Rich Brandt and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto.
How soon before it becomes a Halloween store?
I mean, honestly, I hate seeing that when you have the local stores go away. But
you're
right, there wasn't that much foot traffic in
No,
there.
not at all. And I remember when those stores, when they were built, that whole strip of now we've got I like that now the VA clinic is right there. I love that building has been revamped and repurposed. I'm just not sure what's going to happen right there because that's still not, even though there's not a lot of foot traffic wasn't a lot of foot traffic in Staples, there's still a lot of traffic in that corridor between people going to Walmart and Best Buy and Celebration Cinema and all these different areas. So I think it's still a viable piece of property that could be retail, just don't know what.
Well, and think about basically what's in its backyard or what is Staples' front yard. It's the Orchards Mall. And so you talk about viable, perfect places for economic activity. That's it. But there's a lot of stuff standing in the way between that and viable foot traffic
And
for
then
that
down-
kind of business.
And then down the road, you got Target.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore. So it's the problem is that now, and that's a struggle too, is that these properties are so large.
Yeah.
And
They
to
are
get
big.
somebody, you need a big box company to come in there, because mom and pop store, that's a lot of square footage for somebody to handle.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Sky Zone. The
And a chiropractor right next to it.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, get the little all the different stuff that they have at Sky Zone.
I mean,
trampolines.
there was an article in Modern Retail that talked about why big box stores are now investing in small format stores. And so you talk about the big footprints left behind by the big box stores that have called it quits in our area and many areas like ours around the nation, and they're going to that small format.
That's what killed Toys R Us. And
Yeah.
then when Toys R Us came back, it came back as part of another store.
Toys
So-
R. Yeah.
Yeah, just toys. Toys are them.
Yeah.
They're the one paying the lease.
So it's a bumpy ride when the transition happens for those kinds of things.
Yeah. All right, everybody on our live stream, you have a great rest of your day, and
Thanks
we'll
for
talk to
joining
you
us.
again soon.